All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday Yoga for All Levels. On Mondays, we do a little more gentle practice. We'll still get our bodies moving in all directions and open things up, but more modifications today, and we move a little more slowly as we ease into our week. So I want to invite you, if you have, since we're practicing at home, one of the good things about that is we have a lot of props that we can use. So take a moment to just gather extra firm pillows, maybe a blanket for when we get to the end of class. If you haven't yet purchased yoga blocks from Amazon during this quarantine, I would highly recommend that you get yourself 2 yoga blocks. Jennifer, if you want to hold yours up so people can see what they look like in case they're just super helpful in many ways. So surround yourself with props and then find a comfortable seat. You can sit on a pillow, on a block, or a bolster if that helps you. Once you find that seat, wiggle around a little bit, shift your weight from side to side, and see if you can feel one sitting bone and then the other before finally settling on both of your sits bones. And then we will take what the yogis call a good seat. Take a good seat, meaning firmly planted and tall, regal, a seat of dignity. When you find that good seat, you might start to notice some space and length in your lower back, like your spine is a stalk, like a plant that's just lifting up out of the earth. You might feel a lift through the crown of your head, and then just a softening and opening around the shoulders and the collarbones. You can close your eyes if you like, or just look down, but start to take deep, slow breaths. And just that simple act of slowing down our breath begins to bring us here into our practice, begins to shift us over to a parasympathetic state, meaning a more relaxed mind and body. It's just slowing the breath down. The average person takes about 25,000 breaths a day. But yogis are not average people. We breathe more slowly and take fewer breaths. In our breathing, we take in, it's estimated, about 30 pounds of air every day. So being a good breather becomes even more important than the food we eat. So take these breaths seriously, these life-giving breaths, filling up, emptying out. Today in this practice, we're going to be looking at the possibility of a seed. We'll start right here with the possibility of the seeds that have been planted for your whole life in your mind, things that you've been told, things that you believe. Some of those seeds have taken deep root and become values or belief systems and truths for you. Whether they are positive or negative, they've taken root. So today in this practice, let's take a look at which new seeds we're choosing to plant, which seeds we're watering, nurturing, which seeds are getting the opportunity to grow in us. Start to move through your shoulders. Bring your shoulders up by your ears, roll them back and down, and do that a few times, exaggerating this movement. Noticing any tension or tightness around the neck. Move them separately, one and then the other. Almost like your shoulders can make a figure eight or kind of a snaky feeling. Go backwards, go forward. Get a little slithery through the shoulders. Good. And then slow that down. Find your tall spine again. Take a deep breath, arms slowly reaching up overhead. And with that same slithery feeling, let's start to reach from side to side, like you're climbing a rope up over your head. Slow, intentional movement. Noticing what's happening in the side body. And then just choose one side to drop a hand and reach the opposite arm over. And we'll continue that movement here, just kind of circling your wrists, maybe open and close your hand, bend your elbow, and just move around here in this side bend, letting that arm continue its kind of snaking type of movements. Just waking up into this side body. And then sweep that arm around in front of you. Let the other arm follow, coming onto the other side, and just gentle movements through the wrist, fingers, elbow, and shoulder. Slow breath. This willingness to treat our bodies with a tenderness, with a kindness, a gentleness, is planting a seed. Let's sweep back around through the center. Bring the hands to the floor in front of you and let your chin drop to your chest. Find a round spine. And then just softly drop one shoulder and then the other. Just rock from side to side. Feeling into the back body. Deep breath moving back there. And walking your fingers back in. Hands will now come behind us, and let's do the opposite. Let's open the front. Let's start to stretch across shoulders, collarbones, chest, and belly. Bending and straightening the elbows and just exploring here movement and breath in the front of the body. Slow breath. And find a place to hold this extended spine position. Chin lifts a little. Breathe deeply. Feel your skin stretch. And then finding neutral again. We'll start to weave our way around into tabletop position. And this is the first place that you might want to bring in a blanket or a folded mat under your knees. We'll be on our knees for a bit here. So make sure you're comfortable in this kneeling position. And then start to lift your chest, inhale into cow. Exhale, tuck the chin round the spine into cat. Explore whether it feels better to your knees to have your toes tucked or your feet flat, and start moving through the spine with breath. Take your time, slow breath, slow movement. Just waking up the body. You might find a sideways movement or a little rotation that feels good. Start to shift even more. So on the inhale, your shoulders shift forward, hips come to the mat. And as you exhale, hips reach backwards. You might give yourself a little more space here, moving into a lift and a child's pose with your breath. Maybe your knees don't enjoy going all the way back to your heels, so just go as far as you can without any pain. Motion is lotion. Just let this movement lubricate your joints and help you find a little more ease. We'll create a little flow here. So as you exhale, come back into child's pose wherever you feel you can sustain for a couple of breaths. And then bring your hands back closer to your knees. Put a little weight in your hands and press yourself all the way up to stand on your knees. Arms reach up and back. Again, testing the waters and taking this to the place where there's no pain or sharp sensation, just a lift. On the exhale, lower your hands again close to your knees and let them sweep behind you. Lower your head toward the floor, arms lift behind. Let's move with breath. Inhale, come up to stand on your knees, arms extend. Exhale, bend, hips shift back, arms reach behind. Head lowers. Do that 2 more times with breath. Slow breath, slow movement. Coming back into that child's pose. Bring your hands back to the mat, walk out to tabletop. And now let's tuck our toes under and lift our hips into downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, pedal your heels, shift your weight, and I'd like you to try some things on here. Try stepping the feet wider than you normally do. And see what happens there as you bend and straighten, wiggle. It might feel strange, but we're planting new seeds here. We're trying something a little different. And then try the feet right together, close together, and see what that feels like as you lift and lower. Good, just changing it up, and then slowly walk your feet up toward the top of your mat. Come to Uttanasana or forward fold. Hinge forward from the hips, knees bent slightly. You can let your hands touch the earth or bring fingers to elbows. Shake out any tension in your neck and just be here with long, slow breaths. Pressing hands to shins, lift halfway. Your abs come in nice and tight to support your spine. Arms again float behind you. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, scoop the arms down and up. So kind of recreating what we did on our knees, but now we're on our feet. Bend your knees, reach behind. Movement with breath. You might start to hear the sound of your breath inside of your ears. Ujjayi breath, this whisper sound. One more time, lifting high, scooping low. And then come all the way up, high, mountain pose. Let your arms float down to your sides. So just like establishing our seat, now let's establish our feet, our stand. Take a look down at your toes and lift all 10 toes off the mat. Press the balls of your big toes into the mat. Kind of shift from side to side like you're trying to make a dent in the mat with those big bones at the base of your toes. And then see if you can do that with all of your toes. Start to really press into the toe mounds where they connect to your foot. And when you feel like all 5 of those toe knuckles are pressing, then set your toes back down. Press into your heels and lift from there, those strong feet holding you, palms forward. Keep your feet strong. Reach your arms overhead, and you can either separate your hands or interlace, but lift. Lift as high as you can. Let your arms help your whole body lift as your feet plug into the earth. Do both. Root down to rise up. Fill your whole body with slow breath. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Keep your feet strong. Hands pressed to shins, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Do that half salutation again, super slow. Inhale, arms up, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swan dive, 4, 3, 2, 1. Half lift, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward fold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arms overhead, take your time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to heart. 4 counts. Take all the time to get back to heart. Exhale. Keeping it slow like that. Arms reach. 4, 3, 2, 1. Swan dive. 4 counts. Hands to shins, half lift, go slow. Down dog, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold. And now shift forward into plank pose. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths. So if you need to be on your knees, make that choice. Be with your body in this caring and compassionate way, and breathe. Life is already hard enough out there. We don't need to beat ourselves up on the yoga mat. Let's use this time for self-care, tenderness, and compassion. So modify wherever you need to. If your knees are up, let them drop to the earth, and then slowly lower yourself all the way down onto your belly and lift up into cobra. So last week, Paul asked me for a little more detail on a couple of these poses, so let's do that here. Bring your toes together or close together, and then point your toes so your legs are super long. You're reaching out through the feet. Your tailbone is slightly tucked, and your chest is lifted forward in cobra. There's no weight in your hands. Slow breath. Steady breath. You're feeling the strength in the back of your body. A super important and powerful posture to strengthen the back. Let your hands come closer to your rib cage, your bottom ribs, and either stay right here, squeezing your elbows in, or if you like, press into your hands and lift to the tops of your feet, upward facing dog. And notice how different that is than cobra. And drag your heart forward, pull your hips forward like you're trying to lift them through your arms. And then from your belly, lift, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Allow yourself to exhale here fully. Move your feet and breathe. So we did wide dog and narrow dog. Now let's try long dog. Keep your feet where they are. Walk your hands forward a hand length and just experience down dog that's longer front to back. It will probably force you to keep your heels lifted, but keep pressing them toward the earth and notice this longer version of downward facing dog. Breathe. Slowly walk feet to hands or hands to feet, either way. Knees are soft. We'll bring hands to shins, lift halfway. Abs stay in nice and tight. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees, arms sweep high, extended mountain. And let your hands come to heart center. Beautiful. Let's take the feet just a little bit wider. And we'll reach the arms behind. So you can either reach fingers toward each other or interlace and breathe here. Option to stay upright or to hinge from the hips and come down into a forward fold. Either way, just emphasizing slow breath, shoulder stretch, heart open. Take another deep breath into the front of your collarbones. And then exhale, melt hands to the earth, step back again, downward facing dog. You can take a vinyasa if you like. Vinyasa is the term we use for that plank and lowering down to coming up to cobra or up dog. Those are optional. We'll meet in down dog. And let's lift our right leg high. Pressing into the hands, lifting through that leg. Try to keep your hips squared to the earth and just pull that foot backwards. Breathe in, breathe out. And as you exhale, come forward, set that foot on the ground, and you can use your hand to help that foot come up. We'll drop the back heel to the floor and lift into warrior one. Good, and just take some time here to find again those feet. You might lift your toes and just root down into those toe mounds. And once you feel your foundation, you guys look amazing. We're going to move with breath again. So on the inhale, the thumbs slide back. Exhale, sweep the arms forward. Head comes down toward the inside of the shin. Moving with breath. Noticing what you find along the way. Avoiding sharp pain or extreme discomfort. Moving with slow breath and tenderness, self-care. Let's let the fingertips fall to the floor, roll onto the back toes, and drop your back knee. This is another great place to put padding under your knee. Give yourself a little extra softness there, especially if you're on a hard floor. And then let's play with the front of that back ankle. So keeping your toenails on the floor, just lift and lower the knee. And start to feel that stretch across the front of your ankle. And we're going to lift our arms, so you can keep the knee down or you can lift onto the top of that foot and come up into crescent lunge. If that doesn't feel good, stay on the knee. Breathe. Feel. Gorgeous. Really nice. On the exhale, hands to the mat for twist. So left hand down, right arm up. You can stay on your back knee, or you might want to tuck those toes under and lift that back leg. Just explore there. Open the heart toward the right side and breathe. And releasing our hand to the mat. Let's all tuck our back toes, and we'll shift that back foot forward to meet the front foot, coming down into forward fold. Pause right here and notice left hip, right hip. Notice the difference. You might feel like one of your legs is longer than the other. You might feel a little crooked or lopsided. So let's step our way back into downward facing dog. You can stay here or flow through vinyasa. And when you're ready, we'll raise our left leg high. And really reach that foot back away from your hand like you're making your body long. Stretch back, put your foot on the back wall. Exhale. Inhale, shifting forward, stepping that foot. Again, you can use your hand to help that foot up. I always have to do that on the left side. Don't know why. Drop your back heel, find the foundation, and let's come up, warrior one. Good, you guys. So in warrior one, the back toes are slightly turned out, but not a lot. We've stopped telling people to square the hips to the top of the mat in this pose. So if your hips are a little bit more toward the corner, that's okay. That's going to relieve some strain actually in your low back. Gorgeous. Inhale, lift. Exhale, flow. Arms sweep down to the sides of you. Your head comes down toward your shin. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Take some flight here. Move with ease. Notice what seeds are getting planted here as you move your body. Seeds of encouragement. Are you letting yourself off the hook for having to be perfect today? Notice when those seeds of judgment or criticism or I should be more flexible than this. Notice when those seeds are being planted or watered. Let's go one more time. Inhale. Exhale, fly the arms back. And release hands to the earth. Come onto your back toes. Let's drop the back knee and we'll feel that space across right hip flexor. Breathe right there. If you'd like, explore lifting onto the top of that right foot and setting the knee back down. Stretching the front of your back ankle. It's an odd position, but we use that position in up dog and child's pose. A lot of us have pretty tight ankles. Nice. We'll lift the arms overhead. You can stay on your knee or lift onto the front of that back foot for full crescent lunge. And just draw a breath in here, slow breath. Moving into twist. Right hand down, left arm lifts. You can stay on your back knee or tuck those toes. Find your twist. Full, slow breaths. As we release release that hand. Let's step back again, downward facing dog. Again, your choice to stay here or take a vinyasa. Even left and right. We're going to drop our knees to the earth. So again, another place for padding up under your knees. And we'll move into a pose called Vashisthasana, side plank. So let's start by kicking the right foot off the mat. So you're going to leave your right knee where it is and extend your left leg. Left arm lifts up. Your arms are perpendicular to the floor. This is a wonderful expression of Vashisthasana, side plank. We'll be here for a few breaths, so if you'd like, you can lift that top leg. You might even enjoy taking a hold of the ankle with your top hand and finding kind of like a dancer's pose, stretching through the quadricep, the front of the body. Good, release that. Let the foot fall to the floor and then reach the arm up over the ear. Side body stretch. Good. Breathe. Return to center. And we'll just switch sides. So you're coming to tabletop. Kick your left foot off the edge of the mat and extend your right leg out. Kneeling side plank. You can stay right here or lift the leg. And if you like, you can grab your right ankle with your right hand. Choose what works best for you right here, right now. Trying your best to let go of expectations and judgment. Just be with what is happening in your body. Each pose. Planting seeds. Release the foot to the floor, bring your arm overhead, stretch your side body long. Breathing. And back to center. Let's go to each side one more time. So extending the left leg. And again, this is a wonderful place to stay. For those of you that want something a little more challenging today, extend both legs out, either staggered or stacked. If your bottom wrist is giving you trouble, you can be on a fist or even your elbow. Let the arm come up over your ear. Breathe deeply. Good, and we'll return to center and switch sides. And you can set this up on your knee, opening the arm, or you can be on your feet, staggered or stacked. It's really helpful to keep your shoulder stacked over your wrist, regardless of what you're doing with your hand. And release. And come to child's pose. Turning your palms up and opening and closing your hands. Take deep breaths. And let's move into tabletop, and we'll find a little shoulder opener called Thread the Needle. So reach your right arm up, and as you exhale, scoop that arm through underneath the left, coming onto the back of your right shoulder towards your right ear. You can settle your hips wherever they feel comfortable. And you can use that front arm to just press a little into the floor, maybe even wrap behind your back. See if you can find a comfortable place for the left arm. One more deep breath here, and as you exhale, unwind to reach that right arm up again, and then settle that hand onto the mat. And we'll just switch sides, opening the left and scooping that left arm through, dropping down to the back of your left shoulder, left ear, looking for a space in the back of the left shoulder blade. Fill that space with breath. Maybe even try and expand. If you feel a tight knot back there, which most of us do, expand that knot with breath. Like unraveling a knot in a chain. Just unravel with breath. And bring yourself back to a kneeling position. All right, we're going to do a pose today called Hero's Pose. And I've got several modifications. So we're going to kind of workshop this a little bit because this is a really cool pose, but not everyone's knees think this is a really cool pose. So we're going to start with the entry or easy level first, and we'll make our way down from there. So I want to just show you guys, because a lot of you now are practicing from home. I want to show you something you can do, if not right now, because you don't have furniture nearby, you can do this on your own. So I have a bolster, kind of a thick pillow, and I've got a chair, which you could use your couch or the edge of your bed. Hero pose is this deep kneeling posture. And so for a lot of us, if we sit on, sorry, you can't see anything. If you sit on something like a cushion or some firm pillows, that makes this a little more friendly for your knees. So you could stack up your blocks or a bolster underneath you. And for some of us, this is a great place to stay. We can just be right here and feel that stretch in our quads. But having something behind you to lean into or onto is kind of heavenly and divine. I would probably put something under my head and just be like this. Oh my goodness, that could be really, really nice to stay in for a while. Yes, I'm giving you time to be here and kind of explore. For those of you that do have a little more flexibility and ease in your body, you could just come back to your hands and put some weight there on your hands. Maybe elbows. For those of us that have knees that are okay with this deep bend, it could be here or maybe down here. What we want to avoid is our knees popping up off the floor. So for me, that's kind of the extent of the pose, but some of you might even lay all the way down flat on your back. So I want you to find a variation of Hero's Pose from the beginning to that final, and we'll be here for 5 really super slow breaths. The main thing is we're just feeling length in our quadriceps, our hip flexors. We're inviting an opening in the front of our bodies. We're practicing with a tenderness, with a self-care. There's nowhere to get to or nothing to achieve here. These practices are all about self-inquiry, self-observation, noticing and witnessing our reaction to different circumstances, making wise choices along the way, listening to our bodies. Take one more deep, slow, and full breath, and then begin to press yourself up out of that posture. Take all the props out of the way and begin to find a seat on the earth. And once you have found your seat, extend your legs out in front of you. We'll go the exact opposite way now, a forward fold. So clear the flesh from under your sitting bones. Reach your arms high. Exhale to fold over your legs. And if your lower back says, maybe not, put something on top of your legs to rest on. Or maybe under your knees. Give yourself support. Be your own support team. Find your out breath. Find the exhale that feels like a release valve to your body. The exhale that feels like the letting go of everything you've been holding on to. It might come back to you in the in-breath, but let it go again. Let go of everything you've been holding on to just for this breath. And notice the way your body appreciates that letting go. Might even start to sound like a sigh. One more inhale with a long exhale. And then go ahead and lower your back down onto the mat. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a treat here, a little massage on the floor. With your hands on your knees, push your knees away so your arms are long. And just kind of create that tension of your thigh bones pushing away, but your hands trying to pull them in. And then soften all the way in as far as you can pull. Exhale. Do that again. Inhale, let your knees pull your arms away. And then exhale, squeeze in tight. Long, slow breath. One more time, pull away. And draw in. We're moving into a twist. So you can place your feet on the mat, shift your hips over to the right, drop your knees to the left, and extend your right arm. Look to the right. If you'd like, you can cross your top leg underneath your bottom leg. Create a little deeper twist. Find something that invites a long exhale. A long letting go. This is the beginning of our relaxation part of class, so you might just have your eyes closed. Let go of anticipation, no surprises coming your way. We're tapering down to rest. We'll switch sides whenever you're ready, just moving gently and slowly. Hips shift to the left, knees drop to the right. And extend your left arm out to the side and turn your head to the left. Allow gravity to pull you closer to the earth. slow breaths, like a release valve. And I'd like you to take this last minute, 60 seconds, 5 slow breaths as a transition into Shavasana. So if there's any kind of movement or shape that your body would like to find, do that now on your way to your resting posture. And maybe what your body is asking for is an extra minute in Shavasana today. And you listen to that as well. I'm seeing really wonderful choices and a variety of ways in to rest. And I just want to offer gratitude to you for being in your practice, your way, giving yourself what you need on your mat. As we come into rest, I'll leave you with a short little phrase imagery, author unknown. Surrender to the force that allows tiny acorns to become giant oak trees. The force that turns a tiny seed into a blooming flower. The force that turns a microscopic dot into a human being. As you continue resting, in the most slow and tender way, allow one of your hands to come to your belly, to feel your belly rising and falling. Allow the other hand to come to your heart and maybe even feel that beautiful beating heart underneath your chest. Here, right now, with yourself like this. This body, even that started out as a tiny seed, yoga, that someone planted a desire in you to practice long ago, and here you are. Consider for a moment the garden that is your life. What are you watering and tending to, and what needs weeding out? Let's take our time traveling from here back to a seat and make that journey your way, stretching, yawning, wiggling, shifting, anything you need to do to transition from back to seat. As we finish this practice, I think it's worthy of just asking ourselves the question, what seeds are we allowing to be planted in our minds right now? What are we reading? What are we watching? What are we listening to? And is that growing in us love and compassion, or is it growing in us fear? And can we balance that out by changing the input into seeds that grow love and compassion and safety and trust in us, so that the seeds we plant in others are the seeds of love and trust and compassion and kindness and encouragement. We can only share what our garden has to offer, right? So let's bring our hands together at heart center and just honor this garden in which we grow our life. Thank you so much for taking time for yoga today. Let's go out and plant some good seeds. Namaste.